How do you feel about your view?
I like it. It's quiet. It's peaceful. I need some of that.
This is a good place to find peace. Out the window, Debbie Schultz and her cats
Xian, you being good up there?
watch the majesty of the San Juan Mountains fade into Colorado's western slope. Montrose is the nearest town, about an hour southwest of Grand Junction. But even the slow bustle of its main street can be too much for Debbie.
She is. She's a good girl.
So she looks out at the view that was her best friend's last.
She was something of a procrastinator, for sure, which you can't do with cancer.
Laura Johnson died as Debbie held her hand.
This was Laura's favorite picture of herself. She was at a show. She was doing a festival. I told her over and over, it's okay, you're safe. But she wasn't safe, and neither was I.
Hi, Debbie. This is Cheryl Moores. I'm a victim specialist with the FBI, and I'm calling to discuss the Sunset Mesa investigation. You've been identified as someone that may have had a loved one that was cremated at Sunset Mesa in Montrose, Colorado.
Debbie knew Laura went here to what used to be the Sunset Mesa funeral home. But the FBI had to tell her what really happened to her best friend. Instead of cremating Laura, Sunset Mesa sold her.
For the next hour in our conversation was at least 50% of me saying, what the hell are you talking about? Over and over and over. Because I couldn't wrap my head around this.
No one knew what to do with us. No one knew how to handle us.
Danielle McCarthy got the call too.
The biggest thing I remember from that phone call is the FBI asking me if I were able to get the majority of David's body parts back, would you like them back? What do you say to that, right? Like, what do you say?
She used Sunset Mesa when her husband David died.
Massive heart attack. Yep, classic widowmaker heart attack.
He left her with 4 sons and memories
Our wedding day.
of 25 years of marriage.
Yeah, that's junior prom.
She learned the cremated remains Sunset Mesa gave her were not David.
Just kind of going, what the f***? What the f***? This can't be real. Like, this honestly can't be real. It feels like somebody murdered my dead husband, which doesn't make any sense. But that's the only way I can describe what that feels like.
They threw their garbage in with the bodies and the parts that they were unable to sell, cremated it all together, dumped it in buckets, and everybody just got a scoop out of the bucket.
The box Debbie got wasn't Laura.
That's what we have. That's what we have.
She says Laura was sold and shipped before she arrived to make funeral arrangements.
Handle with dignity. Cremated remains. That sticker came from Sunset Mesa. They have a lot of nerve.
A federal plea agreement says Sunset Mesa operators Megan Hess and Shirley Koch didn't just run a funeral home. They were body brokers. Body brokers harvest human remains donated by people or their families, often, quote, to science. Then, the government explains, the body brokers sell them, the whole body or just parts. Some go to training programs for students to use as practice, some to scientific research or display, and some to medical companies for procedures like bone grafts, dental implants, and knee replacements. That's all legal and only loosely regulated. But Megan Hess and Shirley Koch didn't discuss nor obtain authorization for the bodies. They're both in prison after pleading guilty to stealing and selling remains from hundreds of victims.
This one's fake, this one here, this is David.
The FBI told Danielle they found almost all of her husband. She finally got most of his real remains back this spring after waiting years for the government to release him from evidence.
Gratefulness. Just grateful that this whole situation was over. He was home. He was safe.
David is now back where he belongs.
This is consistent with bone.
Laura will never return.
But there's no way that it's Laura.
Debbie says the company that bought Laura lost her. She'll never get her best friend back.
I spend a lot of time here at my house now.
time trying to appreciate this beauty again, knowing something so ugly happened here.
This has been a very traumatic thing.